Many games, no matter how well balanced they are, will tend to be bad like the Yakuza game. A couple of videos ago I ranted about some abilities in various Yakuza games that were quite bad that would have automatically put clown makeup on your face once unlocked. I asked the viewers of that video to come up with some bad abilities of their own and describe exactly why they were bad. While some of these abilities may not be completely worthless, as they may have one or two niche uses, they will make you hang your head on your hands and cry. Probably. To start off, we'll roast a particular one which admittedly can be quite useful, but for the most part can actually hinder you more than it can help. In all of the Yakuza games, eating at a restaurant will heal you. It's about health food, as the Lost Judgment hints will constantly tell you. Typically, either consuming menu items that you haven't had before or consuming everything on the menu at least once will grant you some sort of reward. In Judgment and Lost Judgment, completing completion lists things will grant you a small little SP bonus, and so not only will eating food heal you, but it'll also grant you experience. Now, you can't eat anything, nor can you drink anything at max health, although in Lost Judgment you can drink alcohol at max health until you become drunk. So why would you want to get to max health faster? Considering how little money food costs at restaurants in comparison to the hundreds of thousands you can get very easily in Judgment, why would you want to gain potentially less SP when healing up? If you have the bottomless stomach ability or have already eaten everything, it is a handy ability to have considering it does allow for more optimal heals. But considering that in Judgment defeating one enemy will grant you 9 SP, whereas eating a unique item is 10, maybe 15 or 20, it can end up being better than a random encounter and you get to heal. I mean, think about it, a lot of abilities in Judgment are about 100 SP. That means that that's 12 enemies you have to defeat, which given the typical encounter size of 3 enemies, it means you have to beat up at most 4 groups of enemies. Or, alternatively, and this is especially the case with Bottomless Stomach, one trip to Macca's eating 10 different types of Big Mac. I will admit that in Lost Judgment 10 SP is actual piss, but also this issue is a very small thing, so that's why it's here at the start of the video. Now, as the completely accidental theme goes, we're going to continue making fun of Judgment. In the last bad abilities video, I talked about how pointless the smoking abilities were in both of the Judgments, but more so the first one. But within that tab of abilities, you have some more dumb abilities. Firstly, there was something that was clearly implemented to attempt to nerf the infantry mechanics of the Dragon Engine games. In Yakuza 6 and Kiwami 2, there was a bit of a difficulty issue in that you could hold an immense number of healing items with no real consequence. In Judgment, they had a great idea to nerf that by 1, making it so that you can only hold 3 of these items, and 2, making it so that there aren't any high tier items like Toughness Infinities, for example. To upgrade how many healing items you can carry, you need to purchase an upgrade. That would be useful if it weren't for the fact that you can carry 10 of every other item in the game, such as certain bentos from convenience stores that end up healing more health. Heat generation, I will admit, isn't something that you can buy, unlike the other items you can hold 10 of, but you can also buy alcohol, which ups how much it generates, as well as drinking just granting you some heat, but you don't get much of an instant amount. That's why you have to make friends and say hello to them. With the power of these 3 abilities, you can say g'day to some of your mates you encounter on the streets of Kamurocho to grant you a total of dick all heat. The amount of heat you get from this is so low that I genuinely had to prove to myself that this wasn't a bug from the remastered version of the game, so I went and re-downloaded the fucking PS4 version, and lo and behold, yeah, it's a shit in that game too. At the risk of sounding like those Sigma male grind set people, it is technically passive income, but it's basically like 5 cents a day, and the likelihood as well of you encountering 2 friends before you encounter an enemy is pretty low, and that's even with this save file of mine where I made friends with everyone. It is cheap though, thankfully, but a dramatic increase is nothing short of a dramatic lie. In Lost Judgment, every fighting style besides Snake has some sort of unique get-up attack to circumvent the need to mash the X button to stand yourself back up. Every style also has the universal hit action that you can do when you get knocked on your ass. Snake technically has the ability that lets you do an attack by swapping to Crane, but to be honest, that in and of itself is pretty bad. It's really slow and not that strong, but hey, at least I've used it. Serpent Hold is an ability that Serpent Hold is an ability that until someone pointed it out in a comment, I realized that not only have I never used it, I also have never once even seen it being used. Now, before I show you it, I just thought I'd let you know that literally the only boss that I could get this to work on was the final one, so if you can skip to the timestamp if you don't want spoils, go ahead. Anyway, while fighting Bin Banana, which I'll say in case people didn't click the timestamp, I managed to get knocked down in Snake style and he did a follow-up attack. It looks like this. Pretty cool looking and does not bad damage. Hello spoiler-free people, I'm sure you're back now. But it relies on you being in the Snake style, not swapping to Crane / doing the universal hit action, and also that the enemy doesn't just leave you alone like they always do whenever I tried to record this. So yeah, pretty pointless ability. Speaking of Snake stuff, Snake Style's EX boost heat action is really hard to pull off for not much payoff. You have to sort of try throwing your opponent into a nearby wall to stop them from going too far to use the ability. It hits 2 enemies, which is nice, but compare it to the Crane EX boost heat action, which hits 3, and you wonder why you'd even bother trying to use it. Speaking of EX boost, some actual praise for the judgments comes in the form of the EX boost combos. Kaito's is good. Kiryu's Brawler Triangle combo, which is the same thing as Kaito's, is not. It consumes some of your heat, which will reduce your combo speed, which is not very helpful at all, but then it's not even worth the heat drop because it just feels like it does nothing. It's slow, relatively weak, and you're better off doing any other kind of triangle attack. Speaking of blue styles, from Zero, Majima's concealed weapons ability is pretty pointless. So pointless, in fact, that I can't think of anything to say about it. Someone else probably can. Anyway, Thug's Resolute Counter, I think is what it's called. It's good being able to attack back after taking damage like Kiryu's Brawler style has, and which Yagami can also get in Judgment, but it's really slow, not that strong, consumes your heat, again, and there's also such a large window to do it that you'll likely do it by accident quite a lot. Speaking of attack reflection of some description, Komaki Knockback in Kiwami 2, it's... yeah. Then finally, there's Yakuza 3's Lotus Flare Fist thingy. A very not rewarding charge attack, which someone would probably tell me I'm wrong, but why would I sit there charging up an attack that's likely to miss when I can do literally anything else? It sort of feels like a 50-50 chance that charge attacks are good in the Yakuza games. Yakuza 6 has charge finishes and charge attacks that just sort of aren't all that hyped up to be, but then there's the Tiger's charge attack finishes, which kill everything, or that one particular charge finisher from Rush, which will kill your opponent's goddamn grandchildren, it's that strong. It's got a real kick to it. While I only mentioned a few in this video, I have another video exactly like this. The comments of that video are where I brainstormed all the ideas for this video from. So, if you'd like to witness some very unconvincing arguments as to why I think Judgment is one of the best games in the series, go ahead and watch that one. Now, I know with this and the other video that it definitely sounds like I'm being a bit pedantic by criticizing and nitpicking the smallest little details that really don't matter, and that's because I am.